one of those bowlers who can be unplayable with the red ball. So I was hoping silently that he might make at least the third or the fourth or fifth test matches, but if he's not there for the whole of the series, then I think that's just sad for Test cricket.
Temba Bavuma has been a guiding force in this transformation, and right now also, if we see, he has, along with Aiden Markram,
Yeah.
literally dragged South Africa to the gates of victory, which would be a historic moment in
Yeah.
itself. And I hope it turns out to be as glorious as we are hoping it to be on day four of the
Yeah,
test.
yeah. Delhi is very, very hot right now. So global warming is just impacting Delhi the most at this moment because
Yeah.
you really can't just step out. Any test player wants to not play the Lord's test match. I mean, it's the home of
Yes.
cricket. So
Yes.
getting Bumrah to rest in the third test would be pretty tricky. So let's see how Shubman manages that.
Lost his nerve in the end, did Michael Holding. Tried. And Lord Carr, chairman of the Prudential.
They're running. It's got to be a direct hit. Getting back for two. That is the end of the match. Won the NatWest Series.
Yes, it would have been fantastic if it would have been 100. In the air, Srishan takes it. India wins. Dhoni finishes off in style. A magnificent strike into the crowd. Here we go, last ball to the outside, it's running through, it could be run out.
Wide. Mother gets it. And he gets plenty of it, does he? No! What a catch! Oh my God!
It's in the air, it's India who win the T20 World Cup after 17 years.
The latest episode of Cricket Castaway, and a lot has transpired outside of cricket during these last 2 weeks, and we all know about the tragedy that happened in Ahmedabad. So it's a complete chaos. Also, if we look at the global geopolitical conditions, the situation between Israel and Iran is also kind of worsening. But to distract us from all of this chaos is the WTC final that is happening at Lords right now. It's the only respite that we can get from all of these tensions and all of these calamities. So today we will try to focus on that and try to bring you all the insights, whatever is transpired during these 3 days of this WTC final, which is nothing but enthralling and captivating to say. And also, we will talk about what is going to happen next week, the grand beginning of Shubman Gill as a test captain. The prince is here on the stage, and we would discuss what he can and he cannot achieve during this tour. So all of this you're going to get in this episode. So before we start on the discussions, hi Nishant, how are you doing, and how is Delhi treating you?
Yeah, I'm good, Divyansh. As you rightly said, a lot has been happening. The incident in Ahmedabad was really tragic, and yeah, it really makes us wonder how futile life is and how it can be taken away any minute. Yeah, Delhi is very, very hot right now. So, I mean, I think the global warming is just impacting Delhi the most at this moment because
Yeah.
you really can't just step out. But yeah, I think as you rightly said, the WTC has been a respite in all of this. Match for me has been really, really good. I was concerned actually on day one and day two. I thought this test match again would be wrapped up by day two and a half or maximum by the end of day three. Which has been a constant concern for test matches because none of these games are going to the fifth day or even to the fourth day for that matter. So it makes you wonder if the skill level of the batting has gone tremendously down, or do we even need a 5 day test match anymore? And if 4 days of a test match are enough? But having said all that, I think the way that South Africa batted in that second inning on day three specifically Markham, and we will talk about it in detail, was really good. And I'm really enjoying this WTC final. And though there is a bit of a feeling that we could have been there, and it would have been a amazing opportunity for us to also etch our name on that trophy once and for all, because we have been in the final of all the previous editions, but never to pick up the trophy. But let someone else also, I think, win for this time, and South Africa actually deserve to have a major cricketing trophy in their cabinets for once. And yeah, the match has been very engaging till now.
Yeah, definitely, Nishant. Yeah, there is always a feeling that lingers in hindsight that if we could have played that New Zealand home tour a bit better, if we could have at least
Yeah,
won two of the matches, we would have been definitely
yeah,
in the Lords instead of Australia. But yeah, I think it was meant to be, and it is quietly working in favor of South Africa's resurgence as a cricket playing nation. Because since 2019, there has been a lot of chaos in their cricket board. People at the top positions been changing, and the player politics, and a lot
yeah,
has transpired during these last 4 5 years in cricket South Africa. But I think since the ODI World Cup of 2023, they are trying to pull themselves back on track and restore the reputation that South Africa carries in the cricketing world. And I think they have done really well,
yeah,
reaching to the semis in 2023 World Cup, and now reaching to the
yeah,
final of the
yeah,
World Test Championship. And I think Themba Bavuma has been a guiding force in this transformation. And right now, also, if we see, he has, along with Aiden Markram,
yeah,
literally dragged South Africa to the gates of victory, which would be a historic moment in
yeah,
itself. And I hope it turns out to be as glorious as we are hoping it to be on day four of the
yeah,
test.
yeah. Yeah, I think you raised a very important point here, because South Africa is a major cricketing nation. You can't really have cricket and imagine South Africa not in it. What has been happening in the past couple of years, as you rightly pointed out, since 2019, South Africa had been playing less test matches. So a lot of more focus. So one day cricket is any which ways. It's a dying form for me, because not a lot of teams are playing it anyways. Not even India is playing that much of ODI cricket at this point of time, because all the money is in T20. Uh,
Right.
but uh, but uh, Test cricket has been going down. So it was only India, South Africa, and England in particular, who were playing a lot of Test matches over the past 5 or 6 years, followed by Australia and India. And other countries simply weren't playing it. To get South Africa back into the Test arena, I think this would play a huge part in it, because once you actually win a major title, a WTC, which is, though it has started a decade ago only, but it's still, I think, right now the most prestigious trophy, simply because it's associated with Test cricket. And it takes 2 years for you, 2 years of hard work, 2 years of sweat in the field to actually reach the final and to win it there. So I think, if fingers crossed, so today as we're speaking, the game will start in a couple of hours. But South Africa look firmly in the driving seat, and if they went on to win this match, which I'm hoping they will, this will be a major push for Test cricket in South Africa, which is only a good news for the cricket fans.
Yeah, definitely. This also goes to prove the fact that the people that were undermining South Africa's achievements, because of they mostly played nations that were ranked below them in the test ranking. So a lot of people were thinking it's just by chance that they happen to be in the finals, and they really don't deserve it, and they will be just cleaned away by the Australian juggernaut. But now all of them have been proved wrong that this is the team with real talent, and they just needed a
Yeah,
chance to showcase that. And they are doing it right here, right now at the Mecca
yeah,
of
yeah,
cricket.
yeah.
And
I
also,
mean, yeah,
this would I think this should bring ICC's attention to include South Africa more in the whenever they are planning the test calendars, that South Africa gets to play more test matches, and also to the big three of test cricket
yeah.
globally also.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, as you rightly said, India, Australia, England, along with New Zealand and South Africa, are the five major test playing nations. Pakistan used to be one, but what's happening there, we all know.
Yeah,
These are the five nations that will drive cricket forward, specifically Test cricket forward. Others are still catching up. Bangladesh, we had huge hopes from them, but they haven't really proven themselves in the past couple of decades in the Test arena. Sri Lanka, there was that golden generation where Sri Lanka could do any and everything with Sangakkara and Jayawardene and Jayasuriya in there, but now they are resurgent, but it will again take them a lot more time to reach the levels that these teams have. But for South Africa, I think it's really, really important to give them that push once again to bring them into the test matches fold, give them a lot more test matches because you and me have been seeing a test match for a while now, and it's never easy to go out there and face that seeming conditions in a Kingsmead or in a Johannesburg pitch because it's very, very difficult to play a test match in South Africa and win a test series in South Africa. We came very close the last two times, but it just shows you how difficult it is to be there and win a series. So I think it's a
right.
major, major test playing nation, and they have proved their mettle in this one. I was, as you said, with one of those people who actually thought that it would be very, very difficult for South Africa to actually perform in that one-off test match because I simply thought that South Africa haven't really played in the recent time that much test cricket in England, and Australia are much more equipped. They've just played a test match in England last year, a test series in England last year. So and the conditions I thought favored Australia a bit more than they favored South Africa. So I thought Australia were the favorites going into this one. But boy, how I've been proven wrong. And not it's not just if you look at the first 11 for South Africa, I think they have the bowlers, they have the batsmen. It's just the will. And Test match is all about will, right? I think they have shown the courage and the determination to get this far, and long it may continue for South African cricket.
Definitely. And also to now go talking more about the what happened at the Lords. So talking about Australia's first inning, it looked like at a point when Steve Smith was there and Bo Webster was there that they might take the game away, but thanks to the cheeky breakthrough given by Makram again. That partnership was broken, and then Rabada ran through the lower order
Yeah,
as well. So what a
yeah,
comeback from Rabada as well. Five
yeah,
wickets in back
yeah,
in after that cocaine controversy
yeah,
that stopped him from playing the IPL from Gujarat Titans. I think he only played a couple of matches, and
yeah,
then he was banned for this substance abuse. But I think he realized that this is not the path he wants to take on, and what a comeback from the man!
yeah,
Like he surpassed
yeah,
Sir Alan Donald on his way back,
yeah,
and now he's just behind, I think, Antini, Sean Pollock, and the Dale Steyn. Apart from that,
yeah,
like he's one of the greatest
yeah.
pace bowlers right now in Test cricket.
Yeah, yeah. I think any which ways for me, Rabada is a test match bowler. I don't see him performing that well in white ball cricket. T20s, I don't think he's actually very, very good at that. There are many bowlers, even many Indian bowlers who I think are better than Rabada in the T20 format. But when it comes to test match, it's a different ball game. But he's a different beast altogether. And the reason I think South Africa find themselves in this position is because Rabada taking that Usman Khawaja wicket so early, because we know we have been burnt by Usman Khawaja time and time again, and when he just starts meditating on that wicket, he might not really score that many runs, but he's always there soaking up 100, 200 deliveries at a go, and that gives Australia that platform where they can score a lot of runs. I think, as you rightly said, Labuschagne started looking a bit good, but then Marco Janssen again is one of a kind bowler who bowls from such a great height that sometimes he just becomes unplayable. So the combination of Rabada and Marco Janssen did the trick for South Africa in that first inning. Steve Smith played a brilliant fighting knock, which we expect from him, along
Yes.
with Webster. But for me, then uh, as a test purist, I think 212 was a very average score for for Australia in that first inning. I would have preferred them to go to 300, 350 to have a chance in this game. But as we're seeing in the past 4 or 5 years in test matches, sometimes 212 in the first innings becomes a really fighting total. That's where the game finds itself right now, and I thought that by the time that Australia's first innings was over, it was anybody's game. But
Right.
yeah, but talking about specifically Steve Smith and Webster, I thought both of them and that partnership were instrumental in Australia to even get to that total where they can fight it out.
Definitely, and I think it's a breed that is getting extinct, the kind of Steve Smiths, the kind of Joe Roots and Williamsons. And I think we really need these kind of players in Test cricket more. Otherwise, as you pointed out, there would be no meaning of a 5 day Test match. It would be done and dusted within 4 days itself because slowly and slowly, as global cricket is evolving, we are seeing that batsmen have lost that ability or the
Yeah,
will to grind it out and to toil hard for their runs and to keep a price tag on their wickets.
yeah,
I think now it's more of a Travis Head kind of a approach that people are taking.
yeah,
Like it's my way or the highway, just get on with it. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So
yeah,
majority of the players are playing like that, but being a Test cricket purist and more of a fan
yeah,
of orthodox Test cricket, I think if we get to see more players play in that fashion, I think that would be really great. And I think Sai
yeah,
Sudarshan kind of comes from that school of thought, but we will get to see more
yeah.
in
Yeah.
the upcoming cricket
I've,
series.
I've just a bit philosophical here. I think I've always maintained that Test cricket is a more reflection of how life and society is at this point of time. And if you look at it, like it's the Instagram generation, right? They need instant gratification all the time. So in that
Right,
kind of a situation, these young kids who are just making their Test cricket debut, they don't have the patience to grind it out for 200 deliveries. They would rather want to bat for a 40 deliveries and if those 40 score around 45, 50 runs. So they are of the opinion that playing those 150 balls for that 60 runs, it's not worth their time, I think. But if you look at the legends of the game, the Rahul Dravids of the world, I mean, before they played at least 100 deliveries, they didn't even start the game. That's what the batting started after that. So once they
right,
had their eye set in, they knew that they didn't have to just bat a session; they had to bat out the whole day. And that is where the Test cricket mindset comes from. You have to have the grit and the determination to fight it out the whole day, and that is why that innings from Markham and Bahoma has been so special to watch, because
definitely.
at no point of time it looked like they were going to give it up, and they were of the opinion that, oh, we have Crystal Stubbs waiting in the wings, or we have Berry waiting in the wings, and they can take it from here. No, they were just there. They were fighting it out. Pavuma specifically with that hamstring was fighting it out, and it was a joy to watch, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. South Africa would have went with a happy mindset after the first innings of Australia, but when they came back, there was another storm in the name of Cummins was waiting, and he just blew them away with the help of Stark and Josh Hazelwood. What a wonderful trio! This is, I think, we would I don't think there is a chance in a million that we would again get such a legendary pace trio
Yeah,
performing from any country
yeah,
after these three retire because like
yeah,
this is
yeah,
like Wasim Wakar and I think Imran performing all together in
yeah,
a for a country, and I
yeah,
think Pakistan did get to see that combination for a while before Imran retired. So I
yeah,
think this is kind of a replica of that legendary trio.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah,
we get this. We also establish this fact from the fact that despite being such a great bowler in these conditions, uh, people are not getting chances due to this pace trio. The kind of pace bowlers that Australia produces, and I'm forgetting the name
Boland.
of Boland, yes. So the kinds of Scott Boland are not getting chance. They are not getting picked up because Josh
Yeah,
Hazelwood and these two are such a great
yeah,
combination in itself. So that's the status of this trio is. What do you
yeah.
say about
I mean,
how they?
I think they're just fabulous, and we're lucky. We're lucky to be seeing them at their prime. I would just want to say here that for me and anyone who watches cricket, when you have a first look at these three bowlers, you would come out and say Mitchell Stark and Hazelwood are the prime bowlers, and Pat Cummins is the supporter in the three, the enabler for them to perform, and they are the main spearhead of the bowling attack. And Cummins is the enabler. But when you actually see the big games, it's always Fatty Cummins who's taking up those fifers. And I mean, I'm just in awe of this man. He doesn't really have that uneven power bounce that a Hazelwood can give you. Hazelwood is just so accurate. He doesn't have the swing that a Mitchell Stark can give you, where the ball just comes in and takes a wicket. He is just a regular line and length bowler who used to have a lot of pace with him when he just debuted. But after the injury scares and all, his pace has gone down. So he just keeps on bowling that line and length. He comes on one change. But every now and then, when there is a final, that's why he's probably the captain of the Australia side as well. Because when there is a final, when there is a big game, Patty Cummins would be the one hands down taking on those 5 wickets, and he proved it again in the second innings. I think that wicket of Markram initially by Mitchell Stark was very important again, because if Markram would have stayed on the crease, we have seen in the second innings how difficult he is to get out, and the kind of form that Markram is in the past couple of years, the kind of IPL that he's just had. I think Markram is right now, along with Tristan Stubbs and Tamba Babuma, their most important batter. So
Yes.
to get him out so early and then follow it up by Mulder, whom Cummins took. I think they were the reasons why South Africa couldn't really match Australia's 212, and they just gotten out for 138, which was for me to really disheartening to see, because first of all, I didn't really think that Australia had a 212, which was enough for this first innings. But then watching South Africa collapse for 138, it just really broke my heart. And I thought that this game again is really gonna just go to the day third, and that would be it. And I mean, this is a World Test Championship final. These are the two of the best test teams in the past 2 years cycle. So I expected a lot more from it, which we eventually got on day three. But for me, day two was disappointing with the kind of batting that South Africa did. But nothing taken away from Australian bowlers. They were on the mark and they were actually superb.
Definitely. So I think day one and day two were dominated by bowlers, as we saw. Like there was not even a single century scored on the first 2 days, and people were struggling to save their wickets and score runs along with that. But I think conditions started to improve on day three, which also kind of worked in Australia's favor as well, as we saw that Josh Hazelwood and Mitch Stark kind of stitching that 50 plus partnership. And I think that 50 plus partnership is what took Australia to such a from day three that overcast conditions went away, the batting conditions improved, and I think we saw the first-hand example in terms of a 50 plus partnership between Hazelwood and Mitch Stark, and Mitch Stark scored his 11th 50 uh, in Test cricket, and I think that sort of gave Australia the push to set a target of 282, which was not looking possible earlier when they were down like 74 for 7. So I think that was a great comeback, and I think that also might have, in hindsight, given hope to South African batters that if
Yeah,
Stark and Hazelwood can grind it out there, that means this pitch is good to bat now. This pitch is behaving
yeah,
better. So I think from there on, like South Africa just took over. Apart from those two initial
yeah,
wickets of Mulder and Rickleton,
yeah.
then it was South
Yeah.
Africa's day through and through.
Yeah, it was also the fact that finally the sun started baking the pitch, so
Yes.
it started doing a lot less. I mean, nothing taken away from Stark. I think it was a brilliant, brilliant knock by him, but we have seen him do that time and time again. Even in India, when he was here, many a times it happened that we had just walked through the top half of Australia, and it was actually Mitchell Stark. So I was just saying that it was exactly what Ashwin used to do for us, and it was good to see Mitchell Stark and also Hazelwood, who was stood there with him. I mean, he played around 50 or 60 balls,
Yes.
which was just taking a bit of time away from the game. It meant that Australia were itching and inching closer to that 200. And whatever said and done, I mean, everybody, I think, in the cricketing world was of the opinion that chasing down a 200 and plus score on a fourth inning, though the pitch was a day three pitch, but it was still a fourth innings for South Africa. It would be really tough to chase anything over 200 for them. So I think Mitch Stark, along with Alex Carey, and Alex Carey again, he does that time and time again. So I think by the end of the day, when Australia had batted the second, gave South Africa a chance. I think it was good, and South Africa had to grind it out to actually put a stake in the game. So it was a difficult target set for them, and Markram and Pabuma then took it on their chin and grinded it out like it should be.
Definitely. So we hope for like a couple of hours from now when they come out to bat, I think they would finish it before lunch. We all are hoping for that to see a new world champion emerging. But moving on from here, just a few hundred miles from Lords, the Indian contingent is already starting to grind it out, and they are practicing hard for the match that is going to start on the 20th of June, so 5 days from now. Let's see what that has in store for us, and we will start with the team combination first that we have got
Yeah.
here, and led by a new captain. So
Divyansh, just a moment. So before we just go to the India versus England, I just want to say I think that Markram inning was probably the best of his career till now, and I don't think if South Africa go on to win this Test match from here, I think he wouldn't have played a better inning in his career. He's always, for me, been a player who has immense batting potential and immense batting talent, but on the grandest stage of them all, he actually stood there. So right now, he is not out. He's played 160 deliveries. What a immense hundred that has been, which is the sole reason for South Africa going on to eventually, hopefully, win this Test match. I would say that there have been great South African Test batters that I've seen over the years, starting from Gary Kirsten to A.B. de Villiers and Faf du Plessis, who have been immense in Test cricket. But I think with this win, if and when it happens, for me, Eden Markram would stand right up there with all the South African legends when it comes to batting.
definitely, and the legend AB himself was there in South African whites,
Yeah,
clapping as he reached the century, because
yeah,
these are a kind of innings that you play once or twice in
yeah,
your whole cricketing career,
exactly.
and creating the impact, the kind of impact it will have on the future of South African cricket. I think it is
Yeah,
humongous, and it deserves
yeah.
all the applauds that it is getting.
Yeah, yeah. It was a brilliant inning supported by Temba Pukuma. But yeah, Markram, when they actually go on to win this, will get all the plaudits, and he would probably be the man of the match. And this was one of the greatest innings that we've watched.
Definitely. So,
Yeah,
now coming on to the Indian tour that is going to start, there has been two practice matches with India A. Then again, there's again a practice match that has happened with the actual test team participants also. And whatever we have seen promise, but we are still hopeful that this promise will turn into actual performances during the test match that is going to start on 20th of June. So starting with the team that we have for the tour. So in the batting department, we have the captain Shubman Gill, we have Abhimanyu Ishwaran, we have Yashasvi Jaiswal, Karun Nair, KL Rahul, and the star of this IPL, Sai Sudarshan also. So, what do you think? Uh, do they possess the technique or the potential that can turn out to be productive for Indian team on this tour, or are they still somehow undercooked to go on such a challenging tour without enough experience under their belt? I mean, except Karun Nair, they all are fairly young and they have not played so much cricket overseas.
I think they should. I think they have all the talent there is. I'm a bit worried about this test series, but I don't think they'll have a better opportunity again to win a five test match series in England simply because there is no James Anderson and there is no Stuart Broad. I mean,
Yes.
if you don't have those two, whatever England throw at us, it will be a bit tamer than it was the last time we played a five match test series there. Uh, we don't have Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, but that's what it is. I mean, both of these teams right now are going through transition, and when teams go through transition, it is anybody's game. I think the team is really good. I'm a bit concerned about Yashasvi Jaiswal's form because, as we have seen time and time again, a player just bursts onto the scene and you think he is the best thing you've ever seen, and then comes that dip. And
Yes.
right now, for me, Yashasvi is going through that dip. It started in Australia. After the first test match in Australia, he never really got into the groove in any of the other games. And in the practice matches, again, we have seen the signs that he might not be the batter in this series that we are expecting out of him. If so, he has to fight his batting demons. He has to work a bit on his technique because England is the hardest place to go and play for an opener simply because the ball swings in two lines there.
Right.
So it's gonna be really tricky for Yashasvi, and a lot of our campaign will actually depend on Yashasvi. I think the good thing in all of this in the practice matches that has come out is that KL Rahul looks the part again. Whenever it's the Sena countries, KL Rahul is always there. I'm expecting at least two centuries from him in these five test matches. Anything less, I think, won't be fair. Simply because now at this point of time, KL Rahul is the most experienced batter that this side has, and he needs to carry our team throughout this test series. So I think a lot of responsibility now falls into KL Rahul's shoulder. I'm really concerned, as I said, about Yashasvi and now Shubman Gill, though he's the captain. We've known that he doesn't really perform that well in Sena countries either. So again, it's a very tricky situations for our batting side. That's gonna be tricky. I'm hoping Karun Nair delivers on the promise because of which we have brought him into the side. But let's see. I'm really skeptical about this test series. I was rather bullish about the Australia test series, but for this one, I would be proven wrong. But I
Yeah.
think our batting right now in the practice matches that we have seen, I don't think it can really cope up with the swing and the pace that England will offer us.
Yeah, definitely. A lot will be riding on KL Rahul because he is the batsman who has played multiple tours on England and he has been successful as well. He has
Yeah,
scored centuries as well here.
yeah,
And his stellar record in Sena countries also speaks for
yeah,
himself that how
yeah,
technically solid he is as a batsman, and he
yeah,
again showed that in the practice match itself. Like
yeah,
he is one of those players who has the
yeah,
patience to grind
yeah,
it out and then play his natural shots. So I
yeah.
think
I
he is a
think,
mix of caution and
yeah,
aggression both, and we
I,
will
I
need
think
him a lot.
Yeah, I think it's really unfair for me if you ask to give Shubman Gill the captaincy of this test side at this moment in this kind of a series, which is a huge pressure series. Five matches test series is the most pressure situation you can get. You're there for 2 months. It'll be coming from all angles, and he hasn't really proven himself in England. So it would be really difficult for him. I think if the captaincy should have gone to KL Rahul, but now that it's not, I think KL Rahul will have to perform like he is the captain of this team, and he needs to carry this team, as you rightly said.
Definitely. And we have talked about the openers, we have talked about the captain, but there is one more important spot that is number three. And right now there are two contenders for it. It is Sai Sudarshan versus Karun Nair, where Karun Nair weighs slightly more because of the double century that he just scored on this in the first practice match, and also looking at the domestic records and everything. If you want to bet on experience, it would be Karun Nair. If you want to bet on potential, the promise of the youth, then it would be Sai Sudarshan. So who do you think I would be starting as number three in the first test match?
So I think number three would be. Do you think it won't be Shubman Gill? Because I think Yashasvi and KL are opening, and then Shubman Gill will come into number three.
Yeah, actually, based on the talks that are going right now, as we are seeing Shubman Gill as the replacement of Virat Kohli. So every other news channel or wherever I am reading this, so they are saying Shubman Gill should be the next number four for India, as Virat Kohli used to be, and then number three has to be a batsman who is more technically sound, has a slight experience of opening, or has the better technique to sort of
Yeah,
face the music
yeah.
of the new ball. So they are looking
No,
at Karun
I
Nair
think
for this.
I think Shubman Gill should start at number three simply because, as you said, all of these things. I think technically there isn't a better. So why is Shubman Gill called the Prince of Indian batting? It's simply because technique-wise he's very good. He has been an opener when Rohit wasn't there, so he can face the new ball. If Yashasvi gets out pretty early, he has the experience to open. You bringing Karun Nair after so long. I mean, for me, that was the biggest unfair call ever to like drop a player who has just scored a 300 from a
Yes.
test side and never really bring him back again. I think I've never ever seen that in the history of this game that it can actually happen. What else a player can do apart from scoring a 300 and then not being selected? But now that he's back, there would be huge amount of pressure on Karun Nair and throwing in him, throwing him in with the Sharks when the ball is swinging so much. I don't think that would be fair for him either. I think the opener should be Yashasvi and KL Rahul, followed by Shubman Gill at number three, and I think Karun Nair should come at number four. So that is what I think. Between Karun Nair and Sai Sudarshan, I would still go for Karun Nair simply because I think Sai Sudarshan has the potential, and I think he will sooner rather than later be a part of this test team. But Karun Nair deserves his dues, and he is much more experienced. He has had a 300 under his belt, and he has scored bucket loads of runs in the domestic circuit. For all that, I think Karun Nair deserves the first chance. He deserves at least first three test matches. Even if he fails in the first two test matches, I think he should be part of the third test match as well. If he is failing in the first three test matches, then probably you have a decision to make, and in the last two, you go with Sai Sudarshan instead of Karun Nair. But you have to give him 6 innings minimum
Yes.
to perform because the talent is there, the runs are in his bucket, but that's within domestic. Let's see how it fares in England.
Definitely. So yeah, number three, the batting order will be sorted out itself like
Yeah,
by the time we start this. But
yeah,
yeah, definitely Karun Nair deserves a place before Sai Sudarshan in this team, simply because of his experience and the way he has performed whenever he got the chances in test matches and domestically
yeah.
as well. So these were the pure batters that we discussed. Then comes the most important, the backbone of the team, the all-rounders. There are four all-rounders that India have picked for this tour. Nitish Reddy, Washington Sundar, Ravindra Jadeja, and Shardul Thakur. So who do you think should be the two who would be starting in the first match? For me,
I
like
think
Ravindra Jadeja is a no-brainer, but
yeah.
who would be the second one?
Yeah, it has to be Nitish Reddy, simply because it's England. You need a fourth pacer as well. I'm hoping that India would at least go with three pacers and not two pacers and two full-time spinners. Yeah, I think it would be Nitish Reddy. He has got 100 in Australia. He has took a few wickets in Australia. Lord Thakur also was very good in that Bande Mataram series that we won. Uh,
Yes.
but uh, but he is more like a fluke kind of a thing, which I would say he is named Lord Thakur because of his innings in the Lords. But I think right now Nitish Reddy is a much more bankable batting asset. And for me, right now, with Virat Kohli gone out of this side and with Rohit Sharma not being there, I think our batting can struggle in this series. And for simply for that matter, I think it has to be Nitish Reddy who needs to come in the side.
Yeah, definitely. It would come down to how attacking Shubman wants to be in the first test match. If they want to have the safety in terms of a batsman, a proper batsman, then I think Nitish Reddy makes the entry in the playing 11. If they want to be ultra aggressive and they want to play three pure pacers in Mohammad Siraj, Prasidh Krishna, and Bumrah. And the fourth one will be Shardul Thakur. So if they want to go that way, then I think Shardul Thakur makes an
So
entry in
for
the
for
play.
me for me there has to be a place for three all rounders here. I think as you rightly said, I think Bumrah, Prasidh, and Shami need to start. There is no doubt about that. If Shami is injured, then
No,
Siraj comes
Shami
into place.
Shami
But
is not part of this
yeah,
contingent.
so then Siraj,
It
then
would
Siraj comes in, right?
Yeah, it would be Siraj and Bumrah are for sure.
Yeah,
There is a
yeah.
toss-up between Prasidh, Arshdeep, and Akashdeep, who would be the
Yeah,
third pacer.
I think Prasidh for me makes the cut again because of his
Yes,
height. You need that in England. I think
definitely.
Siraj, Bumrah, and Prasidh need to start, and then we need to have Washington Sundar in there, and we need to have Ravindra Jadeja in there. That makes your five. Then I think you need to have Nitish Reddy in there as a fourth seaming all rounder. That makes you six. And then the top five batters which we have talked about. So it's Rishabh Pant, it's Karun Nair, it's Shubman Gill, it's Yashasvi and KL Rahul.
Yeah. But then it leaves us with minimal spin
So we have we
efficiency.
have we have Washi and Ravindra Jadeja, right? So that
Okay, so
takes
you are
care of it.
picking Washi and Ravindra Jadeja with
Yeah.
Nitish Reddy.
So my starting 11 would be this. I would go with Yashasvi Jaiswal and KL to open. There your two. Then number three becomes Shubman Gill. Number four becomes Karun Nair. Number five becomes Rishabh Pant. Number six becomes Nitish Reddy. Number seven is Ravindra Jadeja. Number eight is Washi Sundar. Number nine is Bumrah. Number 10 is Prasidh. Number 11 is Siraj.
Okay,
So
okay.
that ways you have two spinners in Washi and Ravindra Jadeja who are also your all-rounder batting wise. You have Nitish Reddy who is your seaming all-rounder. You have three pacers in the side and you have five batters. So I think that ways the only three players who cannot bat are Bumrah, Prasidh, and Siraj. Apart from that, you have eight batters also in the side, which I think it checks all
Right.
the boxes.
Yeah, that gives, yeah, definitely. So I think, yeah, this would only vary in case of a pitch which looks more spin friendly. Then they might want to replace a Nitish Reddy with a Kuldeep Yadav, who comes
Yeah.
in as a specialist spinner, and
Yeah.
he has slightly improved in his batting in past few years. At least he can
Yeah.
bide more time on the wicket if some specialist
Yeah.
batsman is playing, just like
Yeah.
Josh Hazelwood did for Australia in the finals. So yeah, I
Yes.
think that looks like the
I think I
first
think
11 for
Kuldeep
me as
is
well.
very I think Kuldeep is very good in Indian conditions. There is no denying that. And if a test match is being played in India, Kuldeep makes the cut, no doubt. But then in India, Kuldeep makes a cut in place of a Prasidh Krishna or a Mohammad Siraj. That is where the thing is. And here in England, I think Washi would be equally successful as Kuldeep. But we have seen Nathan Lyon and Travis Head
Yes,
turn the ball like this much
this much.
in
Yes,
the so that is the thing. But I think that even Washi would be able to do. I mean, he's taken 7 or 8 wickets in that New Zealand one-off game where he was part of. So I think Washi is good to go. If it's an English condition, I don't think you replace Nitish Reddy for a Kuldeep simply because, as I said, I'm really unskeptical. I'm very skeptical about the Indian batting at this point of time. The only one who I trust will perform is KL Rahul with the bat. I was very, very confident about Rishabh Pant before this IPL, but now after this IPL, I don't really. I'm even considering, do we need to have a Dhruv Jurel right now in the side rather than a Rishabh Pant because he's just going through such a bad phase. But then he has performed so well over the years in outside conditions outside of India that it gives
Yes.
him that much leverage that I think Rishabh Pant starts. But I don't know where in his headspace Rishabh Pant is at this point of time because Test match is all about what's inside your head, and right now I'm really really scared about what kind of Rishabh Pant we are going to see on the pitch.
Yeah, definitely. We all are hoping he does well because of the way he has performed in Test cricket so far. I think he is the one of the most successful batsmen from India in the
Yeah,
past 3 4 years in Test cricket. So we all are hoping. But if not, then we have a very capable replacement in terms of Dhruv Jurel, who is
yeah.
as good as a keeper, and also he has continuously given
Technically,
good
technically, he is sounder
performances.
than Rishabh
Yeah.
Pant. For a Test
Yes.
cricket, he is technically better than Rishabh Pant, but Rishabh Pant is our X factor. There is no denying
Yes,
that.
definitely, definitely. But Dhruv Jurel has also shown promise by scoring multiple 50 plus scores in
Yeah,
throughout these three practice matches. So yeah, he is quite accustomed to the situation. So
yeah,
this was India's contingent for this tour. Now moving on to the England's team. So we have our usual four in the batting department who are specialist batsmen is Ben Duckett, Joe Root, Zach Crawley, and Harry Brook. These will be, I think, all these four directly walk into the playing 11 for England. And then in the all-rounders, we have the captain Ben Stokes, Jacob Bethel, and Chris Wokes. Do you see Bethel and Wokes both playing in the 11, or you
yes.
think there is a toss-up there with a
No,
pure
I think
fast bowler and Bethel?
no, no. I think both play. I think Chris Wokes is right now their most seaming bowler, if you would say. So he is the one who gets the most seam out of the wicket. That means that Vokes is a certainty for me. I don't think Vokes goes away from this side. I think Bethel is a better batter than he's a bowler. But because of his batting skills, I think Bethel also makes it to the squad. I'm really, really scared of Joe Root, man, in this one. I mean, it
Yes,
would be very, very hard to get him out, and I can see us, our bowlers, laboring. I mean, I can already see it like we are laboring for 200, 250 deliveries in like at least three out of these five test matches where Joe Root is just taken the game away from us. I mean, Ben Duckett again is someone who really scores against us, and his reverse sweeps have been a nightmare for
yes,
us. I'm not actually that worried about Ben Stokes, though. Again, he is their X factor, like we have Rishabh Pant in our side. So Ben Stokes is there. The good thing is that Ben Stokes won't be bowling that much, so it takes away
yes,
a bit of his teeth from there. But the main players in there are Joe Root and Harry Brook. And I think Joe Root is the best test batter in the world right now. I think everybody thinks that. And the way that Harry Brook has also been performing, I think I think it's going to be really difficult.
yeah. So then I think if we talk about the bowlers, we have a fairly new contingent here as well. Since, as you mentioned, Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad are not there for the first time. India is touring England in ages. I think since I have started watching cricket, there always has
Jimmy
been these
Anderson
two.
has been there.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Anderson,
Jimmy
yeah.
Anderson has always been there. Stuart Broad came around 2008, 2009. But Jimmy Anderson has been an ever present.
Yes. So I think would they? I think Josh Tongue and Braden Cars would be surely in the playing 11 for them. But who amongst Jamie Overton, Shoaib Bashir, Samuel James Cook? who do you pick? I think Shoaib Bashir they would pick simply because they don't have a good spin option, and he has been quite successful when England came to the India tour. But
Yeah.
between Samuel Cook and Jamie Overton, who makes the cut for you?
I think, as you rightly said, Bashir is there, I think, because that's their only spinner choice. There was
Yes,
another spinner guy who came in the India tour. I'm forgetting his name, but he is not probably included in the squad anymore. So I
right,
think
right.
Shoaib Bashir starts. I think, again, for me, I haven't seen that much of English cricket in the past year to know who is better in form right now. But I think Jamie Overton is simply, as much as I know, better bowler. In the past couple of years, he has played a lot more test matches. So simply based on that, I think it would be Overton who starts. But I don't know where the management is going for this one.
Yeah. So if we look at the records, both Samuel and Jamie Overton has played only one test match in their entire career, and the stats are also pretty similar. It would be more on the gut feeling and the potential that they are looking at because Overton has took 2 wickets for 146 runs in his one test match that is played, and Samuel Cook has taken a solitary wicket for 119
Just
runs.
Just a confirmation here because I might be outdated here, but Jofra Archer isn't the part of the squad.
No, Jofra Archer isn't. I think he's out with some sort of a back issue again, and this may stretch very long because in the first time itself, he took more than an year to recover from that stress fracture, and he undergone a surgery and all those things. I think this would be really tough for him because he really wants
I
to.
mean, then that's really sad because for me, the more I saw of Jofra Archer in the IPL this year, he was
Yes,
looking so good for Rajasthan, and every time I was really excited to see him bowl again in England for our bowlers to face him because on his peak again he is one of those bowlers who can be unplayable with the red ball. So I was hoping silently that he might make at least the third or the fourth or fifth test matches. But if he's not there for the whole of the series, then I think that's just sad for me.
yeah, definitely, definitely. That's really sad for English test team as well because out of all these, he is the most experienced and he has that lethal pace.
Yeah,
Because I don't even see Markwood here, so I suppose
yeah,
he is also out due to some niggle. So they really lack the pace battery here, the one that they had last in the last tour with Jofra Archer and Markwood. If they both are coming at a batsman with that kind of a pace, it becomes really difficult, especially for the ones who have not faced them before, and that also in England. So I think, yeah, the bowling attack looks slightly undercooked for me,
yeah,
but I think
yeah.
they would
That
have
is
Chris
why I think
Woakes.
this would be the best chance for India to stake a claim to this series. I mean, we won't have a lighter bowling lineup than this for me to face. We haven't had that in past 15 years at least. Whenever we have gone to England, so I think the pace battery for England lacks a bit of experience, which is where our batsmen should capitalize. But that would depend
Definitely.
on what is the form of Yashasvi and Shubman Gill.
Yeah, even I'm looking at the stats of George Tongue as well. He has played only three test matches. Bryden Cars has only played five test matches.
So it's Chris
It,
Wokes basically who is the spearhead of their bowling lineup at this point of time.
it's Chris Woakes. Yeah, it's Chris Woakes that is the most experienced pace bowler, who is more reliant on the swing and who is very
Yeah,
lethal in these conditions. And I think they would be hoping that somehow Ben Stokes is able to bowl at least 10 overs a day because they
yeah,
really lack some experience in
yeah,
here.
yeah. I think based on that comparison, we have a better bowling lineup than them. but they have Joe Root.
Yes,
So
yes, they have
that
that.
is
Yeah. And I think
yeah.
he's on his way to surpass Sachin Tendulkar because he has already gone past 13,000 test runs and now he only needs a couple thousand runs. And the form
Yeah,
he is
which
in,
he will get, which he will
yeah.
get. Yeah, so
And
his
the
age is on his side, so he
yes,
will at
yes,
least play 3 or 4 more years of Test cricket. He doesn't play T20s,
yeah,
so I mean he's not going around the world and playing leagues as well. So I mean it's just the Test matches and one days that he's a part of. And though England play a lot of Test matches, I
yes,
think I think he is there at least for 3 4 years in the Test arena, and I think he will get to Sachin Tendulkar and probably surpass him as well. And he
yeah,
deserves
definitely.
to. I think past 3 4 years, we used to say the same thing for Virat Kohli, right? So 2013 to 2019, we hadn't seen a better batter than him. And
Yes.
then from 2019 till now, it's 2025. I mean, these 4 years, Joe Root has just scored piles and piles of centuries. I mean, it's unreal what he is doing in the Test arena.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless his reflexes give away or some hand-eye coordination goes out, he is definitely going to break this record because the amount of Test cricket that England plays and
Yeah.
the form right now Joe Root is in, I think in the next test cycle itself, I think he's going to break this record.
Yeah, yeah, he will.
And for Joe Root, I only have one counter attack. Like whenever he comes into bat, he's fresh at the wicket. Just keep Bumrah on the attack as long as you can because
Yeah,
he is the only
I
one
guess.
who
Yeah.
outsmarted him in the last tour, in the last
Yeah,
domestic tour
yeah.
itself.
But I think that's our answer for everything, right? So whenever there is any problem, we would have to throw in Bumrah only. But let's see how Shubman Gill manages Bumrah in this series because as far as the news that we are hearing is that Bumrah can only play 3 out of the 5 Test
Yes,
matches.
yes,
But in order for us to win the series, I think Bumrah needs to play at least 4 out of the 5 Test matches. So one we can do without him, but at least he needs to play four because, as you said, there is no replacement for Bumrah. So this series would ultimately be decided on Joe Root versus Jasprit Bumrah is what I see happening. So I think we need Bumrah to play at least 4 of the 5 Test matches.
definitely. Probably, I think the plan should be to get Bumrah play the first two test matches and then take a break and come in the last two test matches again. And for the
Yeah,
third test match, which is in Lords, I think they can bring in Akashdeep or maybe Arshdeep, who is more of an X
yeah,
factor with his swing and
yeah.
his left arm action. I think Arshdeep can replace Bumrah in the third test match.
Yeah, yeah. I think also, as you rightly said, Akashdeep is a great shout for me as well because he is Shami-esque in his way, and he did have 2 good Test matches in Australia. So
Hmm.
Akashdeep is not as much reliant on swing as much as Arshdeep is because if the ball isn't swinging, I don't think Arshdeep has anything else to offer. At least Akashdeep has that
Yes, yes,
line and length, and he hits the deck harder. So I think
definitely.
Akashdeep for me goes into that. But again, it would be a toss-up. So I don't think any player, any Test player wants to not play the Lord's Test match. I mean, it's the home of
Yes,
cricket. So
yes.
getting Bumrah to rest in the third Test would be pretty tricky. So let's see how Shubman manages that.
Yeah, that would be a headache for the team management, especially right now as the news has come in. Gambhir has returned to India because his mother suffered a heart attack, so he's going to stay with her. And when he's going to go back, it is still not clear. Probably we get more clarity by the time the first
Yeah.
test match starts. So it's more on Shubman Gill now to see how he wants to manage Bumrah along with the bowling coach Morne Mokkal. And I was reading up on Mone Mokkal's statement as well. So he has said that he's happy to see Bumrah in good shape right now. But they will have to definitely keep a close eye on how he's
Yeah,
doing test by test. So they
yeah,
have to manage him
yeah,
very like wrapped up in a cotton wool, I can say.
yeah. I think this is a great, huge opportunity for this young Indian Test team. I mean, I remember exactly the same situation when Virat was the captain in 2018 Australia series, where Mahi had just retired and the team was coming with new players. It wasn't as fresh as this team looks right now because you already had Shikhar Dhawan, who was there, who had played a fair few Test matches by then. Rohit wasn't really part of that test team, if I remember correctly, but there were a few players. There was Ajinkya Rahane in there who was a bit
Pujara.
experienced. There was Pujara who was any which ways there, who was at the peak of his powers. I don't think I've seen Pujara bat any better than he did in that tour. But this team, I think, has a lot to prove. Yashasvi Jaiswal has a lot to prove, but they have a huge opportunity. And with the kind of bowling attack that England is coming up with, I think they won't have a better chance than this. But I really hope that these test matches go to the fifth day, man.
Definitely. And I have also one sort of wild imagination. If Yashasvi Jaiswal fails in the first two test matches, do they bring Sai Sudarshan as an opener with KL
I,
Rahul? Can
yeah,
he replace Yashasvi as well?
I mean, it should be the case. I mean, I would again say in the first three, if Yashasvi hasn't performed in the first three, then I think it should be the case that Sai Sudarshan should come in for the fourth and the fifth. But if you again see the body of work that he has done in the past 2 years, though again it has only been in India, but in India he has scored bucket loads of runs. So it will be
Yeah,
difficult. It will be difficult, but if any coach has the authority to do that, then it's Gautam Gambhir. And I
yeah,
think these kind of decisions now, I think cricket has evolved to a point where these decisions should be taken out from a captain's hand and should be given to the manager. It is a manager's job to pick the team and to understand which player is at the right frame of mind to start matches. I don't think these kind of decisions should be given to Shubman Gill also because Shubman Gill right now is very young himself. So I think it would be Gambhir's call. I think Gambhir can make that call. He is strong enough as a personality to make that call. But I don't
yes.
think we would want as a team because if Yashasvi is failing in the first three test matches, I don't think we win more than one of those three matches then.
Definitely. Yeah, so we have to do everything we can to make this tour a success. And if we can manage to win the series with such a young team, I think that would go down in history as a moment in itself. So
Yeah,
yeah, hoping they do come out really well.
yeah. I mean, we are due to win a test series in England. We have won a series everywhere apart from England and South Africa. They should come a time maybe to at least win a test series in England.
Right, right. Yeah, so with this thought, this is me and Nishant signing off for today, and we will bring you next week the updates. By the time we come back, the first test would have already started. So we will come back all the action that has happened throughout the week, and what do we think about India's performance, the toss decisions that has been taken. All of that we will keep bringing in throughout this tour and more. So do sign in, do subscribe to our channel and keep watching in. This is me and Nishan signing off. Thank you and have a great day.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.